people have heard this one, but I'm going to read it again anyways.
There's plenty of people who haven't heard it.
Yes.
I got voices. I got choices. I make noise, kids. I got voices. I got choices. I make noise, kids. Dreamscape incision. I was born from the ignition. My night terrors taste liquid. Name every motherfucker I loved and lost to death, breath, drugs, and lack of love. Mad rep. Madness pay respects. Peace to my lethal, legally manic kids. Cody, Connor, Crystal, Tyler, Pat, Richard, Ida, Johnny, Lauren, Sarah, Kelly, Anselm, Baton, and all the other brothers, sisters, fathers, teachers, artists, mentors, lovers, believers, deceivers, sacred bond keepers, fallen in ash. This love's for keeps as bad as it gets. Dirt or coffin, forever gone but not forgotten. I loved them, I lived them, I survived them. I am survived. Against the grind. No God should be denied. We believe to bleed the find. What's yours in mind? I love you, Kevin, Cabo, Cutter, Dreamscape, Demon Maker, Pirate Fortress, hooked into real artists all across this damn world. Worship, wordsmith, wasteland curls. You are already me. We are already we. You are already free. Azadi for eternity. Once the cells take over, once you breathe to see pure energy, we all dancing to eternity's pleas. Busy burning blocks coming to a street near you. Why I choose to believe whether or not you believe me and behave in terrible miscommunal communication, communion, confessionals. I was raised a fearing God, Catholic, Irish boy, victim visualization, but fear can and will bleed sane. See sane. I have lived as a telepath, telegraph, all insane. We are all the fucking same. I love anyone and anyone who needs it, who bleeds quick. The world is sin, but we can choose to break it. The same way waves swallow cities and earthquakes shake man's infamy. All the ants work in vain, to work, to die, to bleed the same. I'm a free artist, communist, graffiti, bad dream weave seeds. Survived all the cleanup crew, crew neck, carelessness, fuck this city of luxury. I was born here, burn it, burnin'. I watched the money and selfishness turn it. Selflessness come to a T. Now it's a world of transformational students who don't have the heart or strength to kill. Get me out of here. You richie, rich, jobless, quick, get out before the construct condominiums devour you. True, always truth. Lost and found. I love youth, new humans, but billion-dollar houses averages have got my skin in a mill, fueling the fury of true bomber, paint fume, bleeder. My homie Joey terrorist overdosed while cutting kill chorus blinds on wheels of steel. Some of my favorite females used to cut and starve themselves just to feel real. And in the suburbs, depression kills for reals. Matt Sis knew the difference, and tragedy sticks to your ribcage the same way trauma from a true blue state bred violence cage. I know from my experiences, either beneath the black drip needle or in front of her tiny raging fists, I felt the pain I deserve to live in. 'Cause I'm a blessed victim, and I know to this day in my heart I deserve to get hit. I got choices. I got voices. I make noise, kids. I got choices. I got voices. I make noise, kids. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Cabo.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I kind of get, I don't know, some maybe as much from the energy with which you read or performed that piece, as much as the words that it comes out of some pain. Would you pain and loss, or the pain that comes with losing people that you care about, people that you know. I heard in the first, I don't know, in the first, say, third of it, you're talking about people that you lost. How is it? How is it that? In my life, there are people who have passed away, but it sounds like people have died in your life. Maybe more people in a shorter period of time. How may I ask how have you had a life where you might have lost more people at a younger age than most of us?
Yeah, I've lived a really interesting life. Like, I got into a lot of trouble when I was younger. When I was like 16 or 17, I was sent to a treatment facility against my own will, and it ended up being a really good experience. But that was kind of the start of a process of meeting people who lived very intense lives, and these people are some of the most beautiful people I'll ever meet, and I'll never forget them. But yeah, they burned out, and they, like that saying, better to burn out than to fade away or whatever.
Maybe that makes it as a tattoo or a bumper sticker or something.
But yeah, I've been to several treatment centers for addiction and for depression, and that's part of what my work is about. It's about, my
surviving.
Yeah, surviving and just my internal feelings. Like, I don't really hide anything when I write, and that's just how I've always written. It's like a way of healing. It's a way of paying homage to all these people who I'll never forget.
Right.
And truthfully, I'm sure the number is a lot higher than the number in that piece. Because you lose contact with a lot of people.
Sure.
And so, so that was just like a piece dedicated to some of my favorite people that passed away.
Well, I think I might be speaking for many who are present here that it takes a lot of courage to speak such pain. Somehow, I think in our culture, pain is something that we hide and we cover up, and so do you think that your writing has always been about a healing process?
Yeah. When I went to this first facility, they essentially take everything from you. So it's like a lockdown facility that.
You mean they take every physical object?
Yeah, and like I was taken on Mother's Day, and I needed it. Like, my parents were concerned about their kid was falling apart in front of them, and so when I got there, I just immediately was like, I grabbed a bunch of paper and that's where it started. It was like, this was.
So it was that first facility that you were taken to on Mother's Day?
Yeah, I was driven to St. George, Utah. It's like 90% Mormon town, and it was a very strange experience. Like, but it was inspiring for me. It really pushed me to become the person I am today.
So, are you saying that even though it came as a surprise and maybe a shock that you were taken to this place, it wound up being good, okay?
Yeah, it was good and bad. It sparked a lot of things that happened later on. Just I wasn't. It's a complicated story, honestly.
Okay.
I actually went to this place because I was depressed and I was dealing with an addiction to a video game, and I was smoking a lot of pot. But so I wasn't there for addiction compared to some of the other people that were there. So I would hear about all these other drugs that I've never done before. So it kind of, in a way, it was really bad in the sense that it opened me up to drugs that I've never heard about or done. And then it was good because it helped me become a writer, and I found some of my closest friends. It was just like I don't know, it was like an experience. It was like a coming of age type of experience, you know. So I'm really grateful for it.
So it was expansive.
Yeah, it was like a wilderness program. So it wasn't just like a boarding school. Like you were out in the desert and you had to like make your own fires, and it was challenging work. You had to like push a cart around for like 7 miles a day and stuff. So it was like it was stressful, but it was also like beautiful at the same time. You know?
So it's sounding like an experience that perhaps that I have not had, and I'm guessing maybe many of us have not had. And you got a lot out of it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Do you want to say anything about what would help? Maybe this. Okay, here's a question: How could human beings make a world? Well, what would a world look like of human beings where there was less addiction or less depression or less misery? How? It sounds like you've been, in the maybe it's from the in the shadow of the valley of death or some such. How do we make a world that's easier for human beings to grow up in, so that would not have to suffer depression or addiction?
Yeah, I think humans are just inherently like we all have our own pain and our own experiences that we've gone through. Like everyone has experienced heartache and addiction in one form or another, whether it's drinking coffee or
television or
there's all sorts of addictions. It's just that's like the human nature for us to latch on to these different things, and I think it's important to find the right types of addictions. Like I do monsters, and
let's talk about the sculptures.
I have like so many different passions because of my experience with addiction, and also with I grew up in the south of France when I was 8, so me and my family moved to the south of France at the age of 8 to 12, and that was like another impact, like getting to see all this amazing art and going to an American international school where I was with all these different cultures, and so it just molded me into the artist that I am today.
Well, let's talk about your sculptures. When did you begin creating sculpture?
I'd say I've been doing it for 4 years, 3.
Oh, so it's relatively recent.
Maybe longer. I don't know, 5 years. I started collecting first. I remember online I just saw some of these monsters and I was like, this is so cool, and I was just like fascinated. I contacted the one artist who made them, and he sold me a bunch of them. And at one point, I was like spending all this money on these monsters, and I was like, wait, why don't I just start making them myself and just save money, And it's just a more creative way to do things.
Right. I'm curious to ask you, how many of you have seen this sort of artwork before tonight? Okay, so I see a few hands. And how many of you have not seen, we can call them monsters?
Creatures, monsters.
How many of you have not seen these creatures, monsters before? This kind of, okay, there's a few. Yeah, I
like a whole world.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole world of artists who are creating in what we might call this genre or this category of art, where it seems the more the more grotesque or bizarre, the more beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it's inspired by like Japanese monsters. It's called kaiju. So this would be like neo kaiju. So it came out of like the Godzilla and King Kong and all that.
Okay.
And so there is like a rich history behind it, and people pay hundreds of dollars for these pieces, and other pieces go for thousands of dollars. It's
Right.
like a whole culture of people that believe in it like as much as I do.
And the T-shirt that you're wearing, that would be, are those graphics from an artist who also makes 3D sculpture?
Yeah, his name's Alex Pardee. One of my favorite artists. He also will write little stories too.
Oh.
Like based on the pieces. And yeah, he also is involved in different movies and stuff. He's amazing. Yeah. He's really good at it. But yeah, he's mainly an illustrator, but then he has sculptors do the just like create different monsters for him that he designs.
Right, that he'll do sketches for, and
Yeah.
someone else will carry that out. What is the material that you work within to sculpt?
So there's like four different materials happening. Some of these are just pieces that other people designed that I just painted.
Okay.
And then other pieces, those two are both mine. And I sculpted those, and I just got a plastic base that I sculpted around. And I like to do them double-sided. You can like flip around the head.
Oh. So if this face were not fierce enough for you, then you can turn it around, and there's another face for you. And it looks like.
Well, now it's got like four bodies.
Yeah, four different creatures.
I didn't realize
all
they had
stitched
moved.
together.
Oh, right, because
Oh,
the faces are kind of in half, so you have
I made those pieces for a Halloween show at the Boulder Paper House. They were really supportive when I was coming up. You actually introduced me to those people at
I
the
did.
Paper House.
I did.
Yeah.
I managed somehow to sometimes bring people together, but don't tell anybody. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody. I can't help but noticing that this creature needs a Kleenex.
Yeah, I like having a dog come out of their nose.
Yeah.
He's an addict, just like.
Oh, right, and it looks like, because those of you, I don't know if you can see in the back, there's a kind of stitching to it. It's almost as if a surgeon who may not have completed medical school, a surgeon who does it as a hobby, I think. And I would avoid such surgeons, just a little public service announcement. But it looks like somebody sewed together these different characters and different personalities. So, since you're the creator of this this figure that has almost four personalities, just by turning it around, do you see yourself having these multiple sides? And do you see yourself? Does it break down as simply as there are four of me, or is it? How would you describe the you in the self of you in these creatures?
Yeah, I'm actually schizophrenic. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I thought you were going to say I'm actually a creature. And aren't we all creatures? So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everyone has these different sides, you know.
Right.
People can be very loving. They can also be very nasty to other people, you know. And that's.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Has anyone else noticed? Yeah. So you're putting it right into the artwork.
Yeah, I put a lot of my like pain and just emotions into these pieces. Like even just the paint jobs themselves, it's like just an expression of just like getting it out and like power or something. Just like release.
Right.
This guy's head.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so
Does this creature have a name? Do they have names?
Yeah, some have names. I've come up with I've made so many that like I kind of lose track of names.
Do you remember the name for this one?
Well, another artist designed this.
Oh, okay.
And he actually does a lot of zines, which are like little
magazines.
Yeah, like mini magazines. So he called this guy Zine Wolf. And yeah, so because it's like Teen Wolf, the Zine Wolf.
Okay.
It's like the Teen Wolf character.
Okay.
You know, from the 80s and stuff. There's all sorts of weird little
references.
And like nuances thrown in. This is like a smog monster, so it's kind of like, you know, paying homage to humans, how they're like destroying the planet, and it's like a pollution monster that we created or whatever. But yeah, this is just like a man caterpillar. This is made out of resin, so this is resin, this is vinyl, like records.
Okay.
This is vinyl. Those are super sculpty. That's like an oven baked clay that you can just do in your house, like very simple.
And are some of these done in multiples, like in printmaking, and some of these are just singular? They're their only kind.
Yeah, I mean, all these are one of a kind in the sense that I painted them.
Okay.
You know, or those are I just sculpted. So, but some of these, like there's probably like an edition of like 100 of these out there in different versions and stuff. And people collect all of them. You know, they'll have like 20 of them at their house or whatever.
What about the characters behind you?
Oh yeah, these guys. This is like my favorite design ever. This is called a Kumon, and I actually named my cat after this toy because I love him so much. But it's Japanese for, I can't pronounce it correctly. I think it's like Kumon or something. But yeah, Japanese for spider.
I was gonna say it's like a spider.
Yeah, like a tarantula.
I can pass this one around.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite design. Those are really sought after too. Like they go for about like $300 a piece.
Wow.
And
So this one here was already made, and then you painted it to your own.
yeah, and that one's actually sold. I sold that already.
Okay.
I brought it.
And if people wanted to investigate this genre of sculpture or monsters or creatures, what kind of description or what name does it have inside the community?
Yeah, it's like neo kaiju. So it's not traditional kaiju. It's like more modern kaiju.
And what does kaiju translate to?
Kaiju. I should know this. I know it's like I don't.
Well, for those who Google,
I could
can you
text
spell
one of my
kaiju?
friends right away. Yeah, it's Kaiju.
Okay.
And I'm probably butchering the way that it's pronounced because this is all like Japanese.
But so the art form is really originated in Japan, and
a lot of
with the tradition of the monsters in since World War II, really.
Yeah. Definitely. And when I went to Japan, I got married in Japan, and we are not together anymore. But
Right.
yeah, I got to see all these monsters, and like it was just like a dream come true.
Wow. Are there galleries in Japan that specialize in this artwork?
Yeah, I remember seeing my favorite artist, his toys behind glass, and I tried to buy one, and they go for like, I didn't know at the time, but each piece was like $4,000.
Oh my!
Wow.
Just like an ignorant American, I was like, "Hey, can I buy that?" And the guy's like, "No."
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it may become, it may be that your pieces will go for thousands of dollars. I mean, if not this week, I mean, at some point, they are one of a kind, and they're well, I think they're gorgeous in their strangeness. They're beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. I've been lucky. Like, I've had a lot of support from people. Like, I've sold hundreds of pieces at this point all over the world. Like, I sold pieces in Taiwan, like Hong Kong.
How do you do that?
I have a online business and my Instagram. My artist name is True Slithers, and I have 10,000 followers. So I've been lucky. Like, people are very supportive, especially in Hong Kong. Like, that's been like, I've sold more pieces in Hong Kong than the U.S. So I guess minus, except for the shows here that I've done, because I've sold a lot of stuff at shows.
And by the way, it means strange beats.
Yeah, strange beats. Yeah.
What is that?
Strange beats.
That's what kaiju means. Yeah.
Oh, strange beast. Oh, well, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go together. And now we've learned some Japanese. Right, if we say kaiju, we're speaking Japanese. Strange beast.
Yeah.
Is there another piece that you have for us that you'd like to
Sure, yeah, I could read another little something. It's right over there if you want to.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll leave the performance space for you.
Yeah, this is alright. You're welcome to sit there.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I'm gonna sit for this.
Okay, sure.
Um,
We're very casual on the Ira Liss Show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. I'm delighted that you're here, Kate.
Actually, can I tell the story about how I first heard you? Like, because I heard him before I even met him.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was in this. This is kind of a funny story. I was in.
Was it an RV?
Yeah, I was in an RV with my friend, and it was on 4th of July.
I think that was my.
Yeah.
There's a place in Netherlands that it's just been consistently, for me, a happy place. It's somebody's house, and you might say a community house. People stay there for a few weeks or a few months or a few years, and it's generally sort of an artist community, very improvised, and it's called Love Shovel.
Love Shovel Ranch.
Yeah, the complete Love Shovel Ranch. And how many of you have been up to Love Shovel Ranch?
Just
Okay, a few. And it's not as if it's in a brochure or in a tour of Colorado. It is not. And I hope it will never be. But artists show up there, and writers, and we hang out, and so now I'm interrupting your story. So it's a house kind of with the woods and a dirt road.
It's
in Netherlands.
Yeah. And so it was like 4th of July at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. And me and my friend, we had just fallen asleep. Like, literally just fell asleep. And then all of a sudden I hear this screaming, like, so loud. And you're doing that Thesaurus Rex poem.
I have a Tyrannosaurus Rex poem.
Tyrannosaurus Rex poem.
Yeah.
And so he's just screaming like this madman. And he's like 10 feet away from the RV. And me and my
I didn't know anyone was in the RV.
He didn't know anyone was in the RV. And so we're just like woken up to this like angry poem but it's an amazing poem. I'll never forget, like, it's still burned into my brain. Like, hearing your voice, you're like, the tearing, and like, you're just like screaming it out.
Well, I may do that piece.
I was going to say, we now have to hear it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that will instead of a song, maybe I will do Tyrannosaurus sex for you.
So when did you actually then meet him?
And then I came out of the RV, like, I was, like, frightened. It was almost like it was like a bear or something. Like, what is going on out here? And yeah, it just came out, and that's where we actually, that was the first time we
It was
met.
you. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you were there
yeah,
too.
I was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I didn't connect you to that person.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
nice.
friend Monica. Yeah.
Yeah, they were the couple that came out of the RV. Like, what the hell? Yeah, that was a very sweet moment.
Yeah. But yeah, your voice is forever burned into my brain. Like,
Well, do I need to apologize?
no, it was awesome. Like, years from now, I still remember, like, your voice that way. And so I think it's cool, you know? Like,
Well, I will perform this piece. Well, we want to hear your next piece, and then before we complete the evening, I will do Tyrannosaurus sex for you.
and you have to do it as loud as you did.
Oh no!
It was so loud. It was like,
Well, I will be considerate of.
No, you were outside, so he can't.
Well, we can all go outside.
Oh, well.
it doesn't have to be that.
No, I will do it in a way that will be for the medical profession will find it acceptable. I'm always wanting to please. So, well, do you want to intro this piece?
Sure,
or just
yeah,
jump?
this is called Hollow's Eve Lover's Dream. I thought it would be fitting for Kelsey's witch piece and monsters and stuff. It's long, so I'm just gonna probably not read the whole thing. It's kind of long.
Okay. And maybe we'll, for another time, we'll record or we'll publish online. We'll find a way to get your stuff online. And those of you who are curious to know more or see more of Cabo, I could have that available on my Facebook or by other means.
Sounds good.
Okay. Let's welcome Cabo's next piece.
Introduction. You true seer, smog, monster, imposter, keeper and snow white terror tale, bless her precious guts left for star vultures and wolves in the woods, down the treacherous mountain roads. A will to destruct toys and rebuild childhood kitten killer comedy. I run amok wondering what the fuck, funk, jazz, soul, blues, sway, rock, function, rest in plenty, trudge introductions, blessed to my best of peeps, rest in peace, who bleed, weep, swimming pools, and return to bones once their stories have been told. Part 1. In brief and mourning. Truth is just peeling the skin back and leaving the skeleton intact. Happy Hallows Eve, fiend. May your curses burst and rest in death. I died one too many times with God's eyelids, carving love tucked into my head, watching television, hell incisions just to bleed the sense, dying down like smoked out sweat lodges. We urban infants know nothing of the forest, nothing natural either or, bed let bled, but I still will to build ikebana burdens to sway the listeners who care to listen, envision glass codes or survival soul. Where, what, when, we wed in Tokyo, turn off to tune in. I am thus far a not wasted human, my urges splurge, dancing in the street, or pop locking down a path just prior to 4 a.m. Can rattles, dazzle, and cancer kicks with the Krylon crisps, bump fists, piss, a miracle amaze. What comes out of losing her love, one step away, each day pain. Once one has been reborn from the grief, God's regret, weapons stress, past mistakes to ingest, on the urge regiment, my each wake a forever mistake paid, left traces of pain in my brain I process each day. By the way, I'm not technically a divorcee, though once married, you don't say. The love game is insane. My heart is untrained and untamed. Too many victims, I guess. Too many hurt flames, burnt out. Now breathe, she said. Breathe until you no longer need me. In need of a love feeding, my vampire weakness grows flesh, fresh teeth. I am a fucking fiend and I hate to steal hearts, but it's how I breathe, cause if I can't love self against rain and suicidal hate, then maybe someone else can. It's how I breathe. Heal me up, madam, doctor extraordinaire, nurse death, bandage the less than. A little laughter goes a long way, especially when you meet your soulmate. Peace and blessings to all 15 of them. Call my invisibility cloak a gift from the hater's corner. Crawl to your coroner in order to be reborn. I think every knife hit, word slit I spit tends to simply reflect the greatest, greater, higher power. We free need, free these skin cells from the self-hatred peace in order to blend in. Now breathe, he said to no end. Breathe and set yourself free, fiend. That's part one. Can I read part two?
Are we ready?
Oh, yeah.
Part two is not as long. It's like a shout out to all my important exes.
Exes or exits?
Exes.
Oh, exits.
Part two.
I never heard exit in the word exit before.
I think that you're actually in this piece later on.
Oh my God.
When I spent Halloween or the night before Halloween.
Oh yeah, we
with you guys.
did Halloween.
Yeah. Part two. Welcome to your reality free. My city has been swindled from me. Why test the boundaries of death and lock down in cuffs amongst criminal empires and kings? Because I'm a suburb scruff, bubble boy born in the south of France beneath the last sunset godsend. I lost traces of family over the course of destitute and lonely years. My connection to the feminine is just mother and sister's teardrops in the reflection, meaning rejection, meaning less than their love from far away, not enough further, purer, less than. Who am I kidding though? I've been given love from so many lovers, though in the end each one tends to duck and suffer. Burnout kings, Hell's Gate lover, foolish prince, Boulder boy, broken Obi-Wan toy with the hands gnawed off years ago. Bless Ellie, my ex-wife, everything, slumber party steez. Bless Monica, my best friend, summer's end, resurrect we please. Bless Camille, my 4-year rehab recollection. Bless Brittany, my perfect 10 sickness, bear the reflection. Bless Becca, my first suicide attempt, alone, no witnesses. Bless Melissa, her eyes made one, first love, 2 virgins making us. Bless the others whose names are never forgotten, whispers name by name down the line in order to survive, amends to gain. Remember, you matter more than just their love lost. You matter more than just us, forward or reverse, similar to the saint's prayer. Nothing lasts forever. I am prepared. I am not prepared. Your love for them lasts forever. Torn.
That's can we all go? Yeah, you make us hold our breath in some way. You've got this expressive, honest pain ringing through, but there's healing ringing through also, and there's gratitude in that second part. When for me, in the bless this person, bless that person, that to me is that's all gratitude, and I've either been told or it just comes to me that gratitude may be the most healthy place a human being can situate ourselves in. I mean, if we come from gratitude, almost anything that happens becomes a bit easier.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that piece.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me share.
Oh, you're so welcome. I've seen you give as a gift a one-of-a-kind piece, and I literally, it was a friend, and you were handing the piece over, and I thought, no, that's one of a kind. That it seemed like almost too casual an act to give this. Would you ever consider having like a GoFundMe thing where you would have a company make molds of your piece, and then you could do a limited edition of 50 or 100 or something? Isn't that something that you see yourself doing at some point?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, where's that one guy I passed around?
The spider things. Oh, it's right there. Oh.
Yeah, he's just sold, so I don't want to.
Yeah, he's already
Bought and paid for.
bought and paid for.
Yeah, the reason why I give away a lot of stuff
Yeah.
is I think it all comes full circle. Like, some of these pieces, that guy was a gift from one of my friends who designed that toy.
Right.
These sneakers were a gift from another artist. Like, so I feel like everything, like when I give away, I get a lot back. So that's why I'm kind of like treat it like it comes and goes, you know.
Okay.
And you tend to get more back that way.
Right, kind of a karma idea.
Yeah. And it exists. Like we call it toy karma in the scene, and it's real. Like I've been given like $700 toys from my friends, like as gifts and stuff. So like, you know, a toy that I spend 8 hours making and I give to a good friend, and I just say take good care of it. You know, that's just part of the game, I think.
Well, you are speaking kind of a lesson of generosity and gratitude, that the two go together.
Yeah, I'd probably have to give Chongo a piece if he came through. I told him I'd give him a piece.
Oh.
I want all my friends to have something. I tried to give him a monster like many times, and he's like, I guess you got a couple for Elliot, right?
Well, I got some tiny guys that Elliot has near the. Some of them are, well, there are some made of a material, they're waterproof. So we have a grandson that lives, Karen's daughter lives, we're multi-generational, and we have one of the toys you gave us, or creatures, by the bathtub.
Yeah.
And another one's out my piano,
Yeah.
which I like very much.
Well, and the way I look at it, when I send them out to a new owner,
Yeah.
it's kind of a bummer when the person loses it or sells it or gives it away. But
Right.
like for the most part, people cherish them. They display them.
Something that should be treasured.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
most people treat them that way. So it's like I have hundreds of monsters out in the world, and I think about it. It's like all those little eyes out there, you know, and they're like
They're
watching.
children.
Yeah, they're just like spread out into the world, you know. Sometimes I'll go to someone's house and I'll like forget that I even gave something to someone, and I'm like, oh, I don't even remember giving that away, you know. And it's like getting to see your child again or something.
Well, I want to highlight, well, the amazing things that you create and this community that you are part of, and the poetry that you do is so honest. I like the phrase "honest to the bone" or "honest from the heart." It's just fabulous what you do. And I never heard anyone say before, "I have hundreds of monsters out in the world." That's you've heard it here first, I think, on the Ira Liss Show. Someone who has hundreds of monsters out in the
Well,
world.
they're all in the world. Like that's crazy to think about.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, like monsters in Japan, monsters in Europe, monsters in South America. Like
You've sent them out to the
just
world.
like spreading them out, you know? It's like trying to get every human a monster before I die or something.
That's a noble person. Yes, let's help Changa to bring monsters to every human being.
Yeah.
To bring, I'm clearly not completing my sentences properly. Changa's in the audience, and Changa will help me do a show at the Block 1750. Shout out to the Block, which is a fabulous dance studio place. I'll be doing a show there September 30th. So last Saturday of September is all you need to remember. And I think we're winding to completion.
Yeah,
so
gonna do that poem.
I'm going to do that poem. So
I like you talking a little bit, forget you.
so please help me thank Cabo Cuts and